Robert and his committee carried on campaigning right the way through the 1850s, 1860s. The original campaign fund that was set up for the warehousemen and clerks keeps going, but Robert and his committee are making charitable donations to all sorts of other worthy causes.
I see.
And they make their final donation in the year of 1868.
£4,000, which is being raised in aid of the building fund of the Manchester District Warehouseman and Clerks Orphan School at Cheadle-Hulme. Amanda, I know that school because my grandfather, William H. McKellen, who went to this school.
Ian is the first person in his family to discover this extraordinary coincidence. That in 1868, Robert Lowes and his committee helped to fund the building of the school that Ian's grandfather, William McKellen, later attended as a pupil. 148 years later, Cheadle-Hulme School, as it's now known, is still going strong. Last year, Ian was invited to speak to students here on behalf of Stonewall, the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender rights pressure group, which he helped to set up in 1989.
Well, I didn't think I'd be back so soon.
Welcome back.
School librarian Kay Smith has been looking into the school's link with Ian's great-great-grandfather, Robert Lowes.
As you now know, Robert Lowes contributed £4,000 to the school's building fund. And just to put that in some sort of context, the original estimate for this building was £7,603, 16 shillings and twopence. It made it possible for the school to go on and prosper.
Did you have to be an orphan to come here?
Orphan in our sense meant the loss of one parent.
I see.
And to come here on a free place as an orphan, you would have to have had somebody in the family paying a subscription to the school. I've got the annual reports for 1869, and in it there is a list of all the people who were actually subscribing to the school at that time.
Robert Lowes?
Yeah.
That's him?
That's him.
And he's contributed a guinea?
Yeah, and that was the standard subscription at the time, which would enable his children, should he or his wife die or become incapacitated, to have a guaranteed place at the school. There may well be a very specific reason why Robert decided to subscribe to the school in the first place.
Well, this is a death certificate. 1868, in January.
So that's around the time of the donation.
Jane Lowes,
Yep.
age 48, wife of Robert Lowes.
Robert was now a widower and he would have been left with 7 children to look after.
7 children? Wow. Yes. So do we know if any of his children came here, the students?
They didn't, actually. He only subscribed until the following year, 1870, and then suddenly stopped. Now, there could have been a number of reasons for this, possibly financial hardship.
7 children?
Yeah, he may not have been well himself.
Oh, tell me more.
If you'd like to, perhaps, take a look at that document.
Oh, well, this is his death certificate. Yeah. Robert Jacques Lowes, age 56. Cause of death, emphysema. I see.
You might find a little bit more about Robert's death here. That's his obituary.
Manchester City News lately recorded the death of Mr. R.J. Lowes, that's our man, of Hulme, age 56. He was a native of Carlisle, up north, and a son of Mr. James Lowes, the engraver of Hutchinson's History of Cumberland. Mr. Lowes' eventful and active life closed on the 17th of last month. It is gratifying to add that his last moments were observed by the kind benevolence of many old friends.
Robert obviously died in straitened circumstances, but what he did achieve throughout his life and through the half-holiday committee had made an immense difference. And in fact, just 5 years after Robert died, your own grandfather was elected to the school as a pupil.
Just 5 years later?
5 years later.
See how these things all fit together.
Yeah. Amazing coincidence.
You have to admire Robert's achievements. If this school hadn't been endowed by my great-great-grandfather, my grandfather, W.H. McKellen, wouldn't have had an education, probably at all. What I'd always hoped was true about the McKellens and people they married was an attitude to life,
Doing good and helping other people.
and this bright, radical thinking clerk stood up and changed the world. I am, that is the word, proud.